Princess Leonor's historic visit to Buckingham Palace. Princess Leonor stepped through the grand gates of Buckingham Palace. The guard stood motionless, the carriage wheels echoing on the cobblestones. She carried two things, a heart full of purpose and the weight of history. Spain expected a ceremonial visit. The UK expected diplomacy and protocol. What they didn't expect was that this visit would become something more. Front-load moment. In the throne room, she paused. Queen Catherine offered her a subtle nod. The hall fell silent, a hush among dignitaries and courtiers. Leonor knelt, not in deference, but in understanding of the centuries that bind nations. In that moment, a connection, Spain's future queen, acknowledging the past kings and queens of Britain, forging a bridge. Eyes in the room glistened. Some with pride, some with tears. Not because of a greeting, but because of recognition. Two monarchies meeting, not as distant powers but as shared custodians of tradition. Curiosity loop. Why here? Why now? She came to Buckingham not merely for photo ops. There had been private letters, diplomatic overtures, shared interest in youth programs, cultural exchange. She came because the world is changing, and royalty must change with it. What drove her? Childhood fascination with British monarchy. Education in international diplomacy. The influence of her own mother's insistence that royal duty must include connection. Backstory. Her grandfather visited many palaces during his reign, forging alliances, imposing legacies. Her mother studied English history, walked palace corridors in textbooks. Leonor, since childhood, heard stories, Nelson's victories, Windsor Castle, the monarchy's resilience. She learned what it means to be an heir, to carry national symbols, to bear expectations. Yet also to listen, to reach across borders. The preparations. Weeks before the visit, Spain's foreign ministry arranged meetings, British officials prepared guest rooms, palace staff rehearsed decorum. Leonor visited museums in Madrid to study British art. She practiced speeches in English and Spanish. She chose jewelry, simple, meaningful, a brooch passed down from Queen Victoria to British royal branch, a Spanish cameo pinned over her heart. Dress selected, understated but regal. Hair done with restraint. No excessive finery, but enough to remind the world she stands as Spain's future queen. Arrival. The drive through London. Crowds lining the streets, flags of red and gold interspersed with Union Jacks. Children waved, cameras clicked. She saw the faces, nurses, students, elders, people who expected ceremony. At the gates, she descended. Queen Catherine met her. They embraced lightly, the Queen's hand on Leonor's arm. Courtiers exchanged words. Reporters moved in, flashes, questions. Leonor's first speech. Gratitude for shared history, desire for future collaboration, the beauty of cultural ties. She spoke of shared values, democracy, tradition, service. Curiosity loop. Was there tension under protocol? Some palace insiders thought her speech too bold. Some Spanish traditionalists worried about foreign influence. Some British purists saw it as ceremonial overreach. But Leonor moved carefully, balancing tribute with her own voice. What cost did she pay? A strict schedule, limited private moments, her retinue carefully chosen, messages reviewed. Yet she insisted on including small spontaneous moments, meeting with local schoolchildren, visiting a community center, visiting the infirmary. Emotional high point. In the palace gardens, later that afternoon, children from both nations gathered. Leonor knelt to talk to them. One little girl asked, "Are you going to be queen?" Leonor smiled, placed her hand gently, answered, "I hope to serve." A British veteran approached, tears in his eyes, thanking Leonor for preserving memory of shared conflicts, reconciliation. Leonor listened. She placed a rose at a small memorial. That rose, symbolic, peace between nations, past and future, duty and compassion. Family and internal reflection. Her parents watched from afar, King Felipe quietly proud, Queen Letizia hopeful but anxious. Siblings witnessing their sister growing, closer to Queen, closer to being the bridge Spain needs. She thought of her grandmother's lessons. Of what it means to serve not only with pomp, but with humility. She reflected on Spain's own history, wars, reconquest, regimes, democracy, and how monarchy has to adapt to remain relevant. Closing arcs. As the visit rounded to its end, she gave one final address in the palace chapel. She spoke softly of unity, of nations bound by culture more than politics. She spoke of responsibility, not inherited, but chosen. When she left Buckingham, steps away she looked back once. The palace doors closing, cameras flashing, a sigh from the crowd. Inside that moment, promise. Aftermath. In Spain, the reaction was electric. Newspapers called it historic, bold, transformative. Some old guards complained of unnecessary spectacle. Others rallied behind her, seeing a renewed monarchy that reaches beyond borders. In Britain, commentary praised her diplomacy, her grace, her understanding. Some saw echoes of youth and hope. Others cautioned tradition must be preserved. Why this matters? Because this was never just a royal visit. It was a test. Can monarchy serve in a world that demands authenticity? Can duty be compassionate? Can history be a bridge instead of a wall? Princess Leonor's visit changed something. It reminded people why crowns still matter, not for power, but for connection. Ending. She departed Buckingham as the sun dipped behind the towers. The Union Jack and Spanish bandera greeted as she stepped into the car. She turned once, a small wave. Not to the past, but toward what's ahead. This visit was more than diplomacy. It was her declaration. I am heir, yes, but I am also voice, bridge, future. And the world watched, moved, hopeful.